We didn't trade anybody. See you later.
No, we traded somebody.
Yeah,
we definitely traded.
Right. Oh yeah,
It just didn't happen at the trade deadline.
Just didn't happen at the trade deadline, man. But shout out everybody watching worldwide, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter. Once again, this is the trade deadline special. Just coming on here a little bit, give you our reaction to what was a lackluster trade deadline. The NBA All-Star Draft is also going on at the same time, so we'll cover that as well. Give you a little quick reaction to that. Jake, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good today, CP. You know, just coming off a long day of hard work, and pretty exciting stuff, and pretty excited for this live drafting thing going on here. This is exactly what I said they could do last year.
Should have done it last year. I thought they missed an excellent opportunity to get some money. And you know the league, you know Adam Silver, that's his deal. But yeah, finally getting televised this year, so we'll watch along, see what's going on. But relatively lackluster trade deadline for us. You know, obviously the KP trade was everything. Obviously the biggest trade by the deadline. But deadline day we didn't do much. Canna got cut. Wes Matthews got bought out, and Frank survived. So what's your take from those maneuvers there?
I mean, everything made sense besides keeping DeAndre Jordan. I know that they want DeAndre Jordan to quote-unquote mentor Mitch, but it's not like, you know, Mitch can't do anything that DeAndre Jordan could do. It's not like DeAndre Jordan's this type of guy that that has refined his game to the point where you can trust him to mentor a guy like Mitch Robinson. Like, I think in everybody's greatest fantasy, Mitch Robinson can develop a jump shot and shoot a three ball or even shoot a mid range.
I still think we need. I don't think he could start next year though. That's the thing with Mitch. I don't think Mitch can start next year. So I kind of wanted somebody. If DeAndre Jordan comes for $20 million less than he's making, I give him the vet minimum. You know what I'm saying? He's making $22 million. That's way too much. But
yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. I'm not saying DeAndre Jordan can't be at least a decent fit moving forward, but. But, yeah, I mean, just in terms of a tanking effort, it's a little disappointing to see DeAndre Jordan stay there because I think he definitely makes our team immediately better. I like DeAndre. He's a good player.
Yeah, no, I like him. And I think, you know, Fizdale definitely is rating him. I think, obviously, they probably will consider him if Kevin Durant comes, and we'll talk about KD's tirade in a little bit. But, you know, a lot of the moves, I didn't expect us to make any moves. Like you said, Vonleh was probably the most likely to get us back something that, you know, might be worth a little bit. But even he regressed past couple of games. You know, his stock definitely dropped a little bit. Moutier, I didn't think we were gonna get anything for. The Canna trade, I thought the salary was just way too much. You know, I knew the buyout. You expected the buyout to come. And Wes Matthews got bought out. He went to the Pacers.
Good piece for the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers need some pieces right now after Oladipo. I mean, they looked like a very serious contender there for a while. Yeah. And obviously, I have a pretty close affiliation to them, as you can see. I'm rocking my IU Hoosiers today. But,
you went to Indiana. You went to Indiana with Vonleh and them, right? And Oladipo and them.
I used to call games for Vonleh when he was on the IU basketball game. That's essentially my first year in broadcasting. Yeah,
that's
Vonleh, Yogi Farrell, all those guys. Yeah, I called a lot of games for him.
Oh, play by play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope, man.
I mean, I had my own radio show on WIUX, the student radio for Indiana University students, and but yeah, I did play by play for the basketball teams as well, and I knew Vonleh and Yogi back in the day, and funny story was when Vonleh declared for the draft after his freshman season was over. I saw him in the cafeteria, and I just walked up to him. Vonleh, couldn't just stay one more year for us?
Yeah.
He's like, I got to make that paper, bro. I got to make that paper. Like, no doubt, bro. I got you.
Yeah, nah, that's what's up, man. That's definitely dope. Somebody in the chat, Jamon Pascal, says he's a graduate at IU as well, man. So you got some fellow alums in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat, man. On this last minute live stream, my cousin called me. He was like, "Yo, you gonna go live tonight?" I was like, it was a quiet deadline. You know what I mean? I didn't really feel like it, but then I was like, you know what? I'll just throw in a little hour. We'll give some people a chance to call in, weigh in on the deadline.
There's still definitely a lot to talk about.
Oh no, it's a lot to talk about, man. A lot to talk about. I mean, you know, it was a very slim chance that this AD trade was gonna go down, whether it was us or the Lakers. But obviously, AD stands firm in New Orleans. We know Boston is promising the Pelicans some sort of package in the summer. So basically, Danny Ainge is like, yo, listen, we're going to go through this playoff run with all my pieces. And then in the summertime, we'll talk. We'll see who I'll give you. I might give you Tatum or something. What do you think?
You know, you got to give Danny Ainge just a lot of credit because he is the type of GM that the Knicks just never had. First of all, he makes smart moves as opposed to stupid moves. Yeah. But the correct radio term for what Danny Ainge has is stones, and they drop down to the floor.
Yep.
AD's dad came out and literally said he doesn't want his son to end up in Boston. He doesn't trust Boston. He doesn't think they're a good business. But Danny Ainge just takes matters into his own hands, just like, I'm going to go out and try and get AD. If there's an opportunity to get a good player and I have a real chance of getting him for a deal that excites me, I'm going to take that chance and work on recruiting him to stay while he's in Boston. And the same goes for Kyrie, too. Like, it's not a guarantee that Kyrie's going to stay at this point. Yeah. And Danny Ainge is just putting all of his chips into the middle of the poker table.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. You can't count out Ainge. You cannot count out Ainge. He's been an executive of the decade. I didn't think that, there was going to be any chance after AD's pops basically torched the bridge. But here we are. You know what I mean? Here we are. And I think it's going to end up coming down to, first and foremost, they wanted no parts of the Lakers trade. There was no way they wanted to give the Lakers what they wanted. No way.
The funniest part about that is, like, if this is true, the Pelicans front office should be celebrated because, LeBron was doing his trade deadline thing where everybody is trying really hard to where he's trying to trade his whole team, shopping his whole team to try and get any superstar to play with because he's not the competitor that Michael Jordan was, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
If the Pelicans seem to not have any interest at all in shopping AD to the Lakers, and Windhorst and Woj came out yesterday and they said essentially that the Pelicans were upset with the Lakers tampering with AD, trying to recruit him to come over there while he's still under contract with the Pelicans. Something that LeBron has gotten away with a lot throughout his career because he is LeBron James. And just to, declare psychological warfare on the Lakers, tried to get the Lakers to shop their whole team. And you saw it last night, 2 nights ago. Like, LeBron sitting 3 seats away from his teammates on the bench. The whole team seemed to have turned against him, and the Lakers are in disarray right now. So credit to the Pelicans because that was a crazy, crazy move. That was their end game.
Yeah. Now they weren't going to give LeBron what he wanted, man. They were not going to give LeBron what he wanted, man. And speaking of LeBron, the All-Star draft is going on. We see a couple guys off the board. LeBron goes KD first, obviously.
LeBron
best
goes player in the NBA.
Yeah, KD, LeBron, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Kyrie Irving. The starters for Team LeBron. KD, LeBron, Kawhi Leonard, and Kyrie Irving. That's for Team LeBron. James Harden as well on that team. LeBron also picked Anthony Davis for the bench. Come on, man. It's over with, man. It's over with. What are we talking about here?
LeBron's alternate motives are so on display right now. Like Giannis, this is what I love about Giannis. Giannis, he doesn't care. He wants to be he's got Milwaukee in first place in the East. He is his own person. He's his own all-star. He doesn't want to be the beta on another superstar's team. And he's just picking because he has his loyalties. Steph Curry picked him first last year. He's picking him first this year. He likes Embiid, the foreign players. He gets Embiid. But LeBron, he wants to recruit people for the summer. So, he's picking KD.
Oh, and he's got Clay. He just picked Clay. Oh, this is over, man. Forget about it.
This is literally a recruit trip for LeBron.
Forget about it, man.
All it is.
Let's take a look at the Greek Freaks team. Shout out everybody in the chat. What's going on, people? Just over here chatting with Jake. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Definitely subscribe to the channels. Let's go to the phones, Jake. Let's see who's on, wants to chat. Ed in New Haven wants to talk about why we should not trade for Anthony Davis. Ed, how you feeling, bro?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Chilling. What's going on?
I wanted to make a couple points on this, actually.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I say them?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you know, they're going to demand everything from us. Our young players, our top pick from this year, and our future first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. You're going to have to pay.
In my opinion, it's not a fact. Like, I think he really put the Knicks name in the news to put pressure on the Lakers to trade for him. So why would we want a guy who's using our name to get himself pushed around the league?
Yeah. I mean, I think the Knicks talk is real, man. What do you think, Jay? I think it's real. So I don't know anything off top, you know, to say.
Are we talking about AD in this situation?
AD.
Oh, well, the thing that I'm hearing about AD is that I'm trying to think of the potential trade packages that we could offer for AD. Because if you have a chance to get AD, you get AD. He's 25 years old. He's like a top 3 talent in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has those injury concerns. But what it all leads back to essentially is let's play the hypothetical game here. The Knicks get the number 1 pick in the draft, and, you know, consensus is that it's Zion Williamson. Do you package, you know, Frank, Zion, and let's throw Alonzo Trier into this situation for AD? And in that situation, I say absolutely.
100%, but they're going to want everybody.
No doubt.
They're going to want Knox and Mitch. You're going to have to put Mitch in the deal and Knox.
All 5 of them?
They're going to want that.
They're going to want something heavy, man. They're going to want something heavy, man.
I was anybody that follows my account, the Lennox on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, they know that I've been literally whining and crying for the past week over over the KP trade. I hated it.
Yeah.
But what it was literally a play putting all their marbles into the middle of the table, shoving their chips into the middle of the table, saying that we are going all out for KD and Kyrie or Kemba or whoever it is. And, you know, if it wasn't for the Knicks' history, I wouldn't mind the plan. But we've tried this over and over again. Never works out.
Never works.
But if you get KD and Kyrie, then, yeah, you sell every other part to get AD in that situation. Because you have AD, KD,
so
and Kyrie.
You would put the whole house on it.
Oh, absolutely. You get those 3. Those guys are top 10 talents in the NBA.
I'm not doing it, man. And then and then what else?
That's a mistake.
What else? Who's on the bench, Jake? You're going to give up all the young players, all your assets, all that flexibility out the window.
I mean, look at what LeBron has been doing the past 10 years of his career. I mean, he went to the Heat. They had 3 max contract guys in the top 10 of the NBA in their primes. And then the rest of the team was filled with a bunch of guys that were vet mins and a couple guys.
That's different, though, Jake. That's different. That's a different guy, man. That's a
different guy. Can I make one more point?
Yeah, go ahead, Ed. One more point.
It's been also a move that just destroys our culture building. Goes against everything.
Everything out the window.
Preaching.
See you later.
Building through the draft.
Rebuild
and
this.
Signing free agents.
But did they not just do that by trading KP for a bunch of other people that don't really fit the system right now? Trading our franchise centerpiece for
not really, actually.
Scraps?
Tell him, Ed. Let him know, Ed.
A no guarantee player. This KP has a bad knee. He was not playing this year at all. He didn't prove anything on the Knicks as much as we were in love with him. He
was an all-star at 22, but yeah, I guess that's nothing. Go ahead.
What do you got to say about that, Ed? Let me hear something, man.
It's actually, if we get KD and Kyrie, it's a brilliant move. I don't know about you, but these things don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
No. If the Knicks get KD and Kyrie, it was a brilliant move. It was absolutely a brilliant move. We get KD and Kyrie. But as a Knicks fan, I don't see why so many Knicks fans are jumping to the conclusions that we're automatically going to get KD and Kyrie just because they're free agents. KD hasn't hinted that he wants to be a Knick or has any affiliation to the Knicks, as was the case yesterday. Kyrie, he was
tight yesterday.
He was tight. People asked him about it. He's just like, I just want to play basketball. I want to play this season. I want to win the championship. Like, this is what I'm doing. You guys are trying to get in between me and my teammates.
Appreciate the call, Ed. Go ahead, Jake.
He hasn't hinted that he wants to be on the Knicks, but this is the Knicks doing what the Knicks do, and everybody wants to praise him, praise Scott Perry and Steve Mills and all these guys for pulling this trade off. But to me, it reeked of classic Knicksism, where they just
yeah, I know you didn't. I know you didn't like the trade, man. You didn't like the trade.
I've literally been sick for the past week thinking about this trade. It's more of the same. It's more of the same.
It does reek of more than the same on the simple fact that nobody ever last year, whether it's a star player or a draft pick, and that's the fact. You can't deny that. But in this situation, it was a little bit different though, because in this situation, they didn't want to be here. And probably because of that very same fact.
I have trouble believing that KP just straight up said that he didn't want to be here. I think that, just like anybody, he voiced his concerns about the Knicks not winning and the Knicks, the culture that the Knicks have. Because the Knicks have stunk for 20 years. Who the hell wouldn't have a problem with that?
Right.
But I think that the Knicks did KP a real disservice here. And when you're supposed to buy into a franchise centerpiece, they didn't do that. And to me, it just seemed like they were trying to get rid of anybody that Phil Jackson had his paw prints on just to get a fresh start. And if that's the case, that's fine. But be honest about it. They tried to demonize KP through the media by leaking all this information that KP didn't want to be here. But who's releasing all this information? It's all of the Dolan drones that work. It's all
KP's camp could have easily clapped back with information on their own. It was clear they didn't want to be here, bro. And I get the frustration. I get the they want to get rid of Phil's people. They wouldn't just want to exile. Why would they just want to exile KP like that? That it doesn't make sense. Why would they want to do that?
I agree, it doesn't make sense. But the thing is that it seemed like they wanted to exile KP because he was a Phil Jackson guy. Just like most James Dolan regimes, and this one is no different, they have the alternate motive of demonizing the past culture and trying to move on from the past culture as opposed to moving forward with assets that you already have while simultaneously banking on assets you don't have coming to the Knicks.
I mean, listen, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. And I didn't want to get into this KP debate, but I'll just say this: it's the gamble they had to take. He didn't want to be here. It was clear he didn't want to be here. It was clear that his brother wanted to take him in a different direction, and I agree. I agree with it. You know what I mean? I can't knock them for wanting to do that, for not trusting the process and wanting to put KP, who has a limited shelf life. We know that based on the injuries, based on his size, the odds are not in his favor for a long, long career. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I don't have an issue with it. I don't think it was a case of the Knicks trying to push him out the door. I don't think they would do that because they would, of course, they would want him here for the rebuilding process. You know what I mean?
Listen, I wish that was the case. It just didn't seem like that. And also, we're not going to ignore the point that they did sell KP at his lowest value point ever. If he did want out of the door,
he got hurt. He got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
He got hurt, but let him play. The guy's been working all year to make a comeback, and he looks better than ever, even on the side. Like, everything that gets released, he's been working his ass off. Like,
yeah, but I don't believe that they held him out. You believe that they held him out on purpose? Then why would Dallas hold him out? What's Dallas's impetus? What's their impetus for holding him out? They don't have the draft pick.
I don't think they're holding him out. I just think that we got a horrible return on value for him, and the whole point – you don't salary dump a franchise centerpiece, a potential game-changing player who's 23 years old. I just think that it was a stupid move. And this isn't me saying that I don't think we got nobody in return. I love Dennis Smith Jr. Anybody that knows me knows I love Dennis Smith Jr. But to say that Dennis Smith Jr. is half the talent that KP is, you're wild.
No, I'm not saying that, but you got to understand he's coming off of ACL surgery. You know what I mean? It's going to be a low cost. What do you think you're really going to get for a guy coming off ACL surgery that you never seen play in a year and is going to, once again, sit out this whole year?
I mean, there's been a lot of players in recent memory that has come back from ACL injuries. KD had an ACL
understand
injury.
That. I understand
Westbrook
that.
had an ACL injury. I mean, there's a lot of players that come back from this. But,
yeah.
I mean, listen, a lot of Knicks fans are buying into the demonization of KP, and that's fine. They can believe in what they want. Just what I believe in. I just think that this is more bad business and more leaked information about, one of our star players. This is now the second star player in the last 5 years that have parted ways with the Knicks. And, got pretty blasted through the media. And I think that people like KD and Kyrie will see this and ultimately not want to sign with us because they see what's going to happen to star players in New York if they are unable to win a championship. And that worries me a little bit personally.
I mean, listen, all fair points. It's all fair points. Listen, they have a long way to go before they rebuild their image. You know what I'm saying? But this was a breakup, I think, that will serve both sides well. He didn't want to be here. Get him out of here. Listen, obviously the goal is going to be to get these two players in the offseason, maybe get AD as well. And if they don't do it, you gotta just keep rolling with the flexibility, man. You got that flexibility. They would have had to attach an asset to Timmy or Lee to get them out of here to get that flexibility. I don't look at it as a straight up salary dump. I look at it as a salary dump, and you get an opportunity. You get an asset in Dennis Smith Jr. Yeah, he's not on KP's caliber, but if we get these two guys, all this is gonna be forgotten.
It's a lot of ifs.
It's a lot of ifs. I get it. It's
but I'm whatever. I mean, like, it is what it is. It happened, and hopefully the Knicks can get it going moving forward. It's just a large part of me, and I see the chat blowing up. People don't love this take because KP has been demonized by fans and whatever. But for me, I've been a fan for 26 years now, and Steve Mills has been there for 20 of them, and 20 of them have stunk because Steve Mills has been there. It's very hard for me to trust the Knicks front office trying to sell us on a pipe dream at this point after 20 years. So I've been seeing a lot of PTSD comments in the comment section. Yes, that's fair. You can
the chat's coming for you tonight, Jake.
You can definitely say that I got PTSD. That is a completely fair thing.
The chat's coming for you tonight, man. All right, let's go to the phones. Back to the phones. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Anybody new, just give me a hashtag new so we can shout you guys out. All right, Max, you up next, man. What did you think about this lackluster trade deadline and yeah, man, everything else? What's good?
CP, Jake, what's good?
What's good, bro?
What's happening?
Listen, first of all, I had the chat lit today because they were talking about Frank, and I had to get him, bro. I had to do it.
I don't know if the Frank haters are mad that he survived the deadline, man. I don't know. I think a lot of the Frank haters were coming at you, Max. What happened, man?
I don't know, man. But I had to handle my business. The real Knicks fans always beat the ill-informed ones.
Yeah.
They don't know nothing like that. So one of the guys named Ace said Dennis Smith was the best point guard we had in the last 20 years. And I said, you know what? You can't talk to these guys, man. No way. Dennis Smith shot 24 times and scored 25 points, which is cool. It's all right. And now he's the best point guard we had in 20 years.
I mean, let's see, man. Going back to 2000. No, he's not better than Steph. He's got a long way to go.
Stephon Marbury's better than him. Stephon Marbury is a lot better.
Stephon Marbury was great.
Yeah.
Another guy that got
like 20 and 7.
He averaged 18 and 8 about about that. Steph averaged about
Korea.
8. Yeah.
For like a career.
Facts. Yeah, okay. Steph had an underrated statistical career, just didn't win much. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. All right, so I want to talk about the Knicks moving forward, right?
Okay.
Because I think the Knicks are the closest. I know people go, what? Listen, people talk about the Knicks and Casper. Knicks has never been in this position, ever. Never, ever. Not even 2010. They only had one max slot. And they had freaking, I think, Eddie Curry on the team. Who? You want to play with Eddie Curry? Nobody wants to play with Eddie Curry. I don't even know. Eddie Curry could be selling crack in Chicago right now. Nobody knows what Eddie Curry's doing right now.
He's probably eating cheese.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to play with Eddie Curry. Remember how lazy Eddie Curry was?
Oh, my God. It was terrible.
Knicks literally have 2 max slots in the best free agent class since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, if they were to strike out, they just continue moving forward, piling assets. This is the best position they've ever been. Now, I got to get at Jake for this KP take.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who was paying attention saw how he was switching. And I want to tell you something, right? I was talking to my cousin, right, who's a LeBron fan, right? And then he texted me what Woj said. It's so crazy how the whole thing. he texted me what Will said about KP. Remember they said, "Oh, KP's meeting with them."
Yeah.
You know what I said?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, they're gonna have to trade this guy. He's gonna try to put AD on us because this guy's always freaking complaining, man. What are you complaining? You got a torn ACL. Prove you can play first. And I know you said, "Oh, people have torn ACLs." Yeah, but they're not 7'3".
That's the point.
That's the big difference. 7'3". Human bodies are not meant to be that tall. It's not like, it's not. I don't know how you can put it. Because Yao Ming was 7'4". Yao Ming only played like 8 years. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in fairness, he had a lengthy career in China before
also,
he came. He had a lengthy career in China before he came.
He had a lengthy career. He was also 320 pounds. You know, it's different. KP has, you know, KD had an ACL problem, and he's 7 feet tall, and he's about the same size as KP. I don't see why KP isn't the type of player that can come back from this. I just think it sounds like a giant spin zone when you're trying to say KP can't come back from an ACL. It's not like he's carrying that much weight.
I'm saying, listen, Jake, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying, KP, you just learned to wipe your ass. Don't tell me how to run my team. Don't tell me. You haven't even proved. Yeah, you have talent. You have a lot of potential. We see it. But you're not telling me what to do.
Clarence Gaines sent him a shot on Twitter. He said, "Stay humble." Clarence Gaines told him to stay humble, man.
Exactly. And you know he would know. Clarence Gaines would know more than any of them. He knows this guy switched up. It got to his head, man. It got to his head. And guess what? If we had to sacrifice the unicorn to get KD and Kyrie or KD and Kawhi.
You got to sacrifice him, Jake.
And Anthony. Yo, sacrifice.
You have to do like the sacramonial, sacrifice of the unicorn on Madison Square Garden soil to raise it from the ashes.
But my point is,
yeah, man.
CP and Jake, my point is this: we cannot compare any time in history to this time right here. We have never been this flexible. We never had never
Absolutely,
ever. It has never happened.
Absolutely,
what about in 2009? You don't think 2009 we had a similar situation?
What, that summer on LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah, we blew it in a year, though. We blew it all. It went all that in the tubes in a year. Donnie Walsh did all that work to untie the knots. They wasted it on Amari.
But they didn't waste it on Amari. They struck out on LeBron.
Right.
Well, they didn't. They got Amari. They thought Amari would be enough of a selling point to pair up with LeBron. It obviously was not.
Yeah.
Then we were stuck with Amari and a bunch of like nice young players, Gallo, Wilson Chandler, Timothy Moskov. Like the whole team was kind of like loaded with a bunch of these nice young pieces that can move forward. And then Donnie Walsh was forced by James Dolan and Steve Mills to trade for Carmelo Anthony prematurely.
Yeah, but also remember, I don't even think they had a first-round pick in that offseason after they got Melo. I think that pick was gone to get T-Mac and all those guys here when Donnie Walsh had to trade off Jordan Hill. He had to pair off a first-round pick. So we didn't have all our assets during that time. We didn't have
all of our assets, but we did have a lot of assets at that time. Let's not undersell the assets that we had. And if we waited to sign Carmelo as opposed to trade for him stupidly by the hand of James Dolan and Steve Mills, we would have been able to have Amari Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony alongside Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari, Ray Belt, and the trajectory of the 2010s could have been a lot different if we didn't trade for Melo. But that's why Donnie Walsh resigned like a day after Melo. We traded for Melo because he didn't want to do that. This
is the first time since they traded Patrick. This is 20 years, Jake. This is the first time in 20 years we're basically starting with a blank slate, clean slate. And then some.
No, that's a fact. I'll give you that. That's for sure. We got draft picks. We got young players. I mean, again, I like Dennis Smith Jr. I mean, if he's the guy that we got to move forward with now. But also to go back to it's Ed, right? Ed was the caller?
Yeah, Ed was the first one.
Yeah,
Max was the next one.
So Ed, going forward, like he was talking about Frank. I know that this team's really trying to move out Frank because, again, I think that they're really trying to clean the slate of Phil Jackson players. The Euro train that we had going for us, I think, is kind of going out the door. Mm-hmm. But I think moving forward, like if you draft Zion or RJ or whoever you have planned, if you get the number one pick in the draft, I think Frank's a really good fit next to Dennis Smith Jr. I think he's an ideal fit because Dennis Smith.
I want to see it.
he's like a ball dominant player. He needs the ball in his hands. He's a good passer, good playmaker. And Frank, you know, he kind of likes to move off the ball and play defense, and that's not really Dennis Smith Jr.'s strong point. Like, I feel like their weaknesses and strengths complement each other pretty well. So I don't think that they should be so quick to move Frank. I feel like him and Dennis Smith Jr. can complement each other pretty well. What do you think about that?
I want to see it. I want to see it, man. I'm interested in seeing how that plays out. Will Frank have more success off ball with Dennis Smith Jr. on ball? We'll see. You know, like a couple callers alluded to in the last stream we had, Frank's success for this year and last was still at the point. You know, even though they try to force him at the 3 at times and at the 2 at times, is his best play this year, which is very limited, was still at the point. So let's see. But let's see. Let's see what happens. But I think obviously Dennis Smith Jr. he's on the clock. We'll see what happens coming up in the draft, and we'll see if they can get it together. Once again, shout out everybody in the chat. This is a impromptu live stream. I just hit up Jake and say, you know what, let's get on and talk about the draft. Shout out everybody in the chat. If you're new in the chat, give me a hashtag new. Shout out to Jay, who's new. Ronaldo Reyes. We have Gertz Spirdovikis from Latvia. We got Latvia in the building, Jake. Shout out to the guy in Latvia.
You're not forgotten.
Yeah, man. Yo, there's people from Latvia still watching, man. We got people from France in here. Shout out to France in the building. Must be some Frank fans. You know what I'm saying?
Vive la France.
Vive la France. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right, let's go back to the phones, Jake. First up is Jermaine from New Jersey. He wants to talk about the future, and he wants to start ISO. Jermaine, what's up, bro?
Hey, listen, Jake, CP, what's going on? First time messing with y'all podcast, man. It's definitely good to hear some Knicks fans out here talking some real business.
Of course, appreciate it.
Let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just say this from rip, man. It's times like what we're in right now in these last few years, which is why I really have a dislike for bandwagon fans, because these bandwagon fans are not living and dying with every trade rumor, with every release, with every signing, the way true Knicks fans are. And it's crazy how they come out the woodwork if and when we do get good. So for Knicks Nation, you know, keep on loving our team the way we loving our team, and we all know who's been there from day one.
Yeah, man.
So I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna say that first. Second, I'm gonna say this. As it relates to AD, I wouldn't really put all our chips in the middle of the table and do any and everything possible to get him to the Knicks. First of all, he's injury prone. And second, if you take a real unbiased landscape of the East moving forward, Milwaukee and Philadelphia may be the only teams who are perennially in the playoff race moving forward for the next 5 years, especially if Kyrie leaves Boston.
And see, Jake, this is why I say you don't make that AD trade. It's because we're still going to be behind the 8 ball, bro. All these teams, look at what Philly just did. Look at what Milwaukee just did. Milwaukee just picked up Mirotic. Philly just picked up Tobias Harris. They probably going to sign a max amount. They just picked up
absolutely.
They just got another guy. Who Philly just pick up again? They just picked up a wing. Name is slipping me. Somebody in the chat.
They just got
They just got somebody else.
What's his name? They got another guy.
Another rotation piece. They just got.
I'm not saying we should give in all of our assets for AD. I said we should do that. This is my take. I mean, feel free to disagree. That's fine. It's all part of it. But I think that if we do end up getting a guy like KD and Kyrie, KD's 31 years old. So if we want to capitalize and win a championship with him, I think we need to shove our chips into the middle of the table. Now, I don't necessarily believe that we're going to get KD, because a lot of people live in this fantasy land that the Knicks get every single free agent. We don't.
We don't get anybody. We don't get anybody.
Never happened. I don't know why anybody.
Melo's the only one that wanted to stick around, man.
But that's my thing. Like, if you get KD and Kyrie and you're ready to compete for a championship right now, I think AD gives us our best chance to become title contenders as opposed to the slew of young talent that we do have now. And then moving forward, you compete in the East. You'll be at the top of the East for at least 3 good years. And then moving forward, you got AD, who's a Knick now, and he could be a Knick for life, and he's only 25 years old.
He's only 25. I get that.
So you can build a team around him. It's fluid. It's not like,
go ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, and just a couple more things, and I appreciate the time.
Yeah, no problem.
For me, you know, as a Knicks fan, going back as long as I can remember, man, for me, homegrown talent is not only something that I long for, but as Knicks Nation, I feel like we deserve to have homegrown talent. And it's in that vein, which is why I say give Alonzo Trier starters minutes for the rest of the season. Let this kid make his mistakes. Let this kid find out what his signatures moves are and are not. Let him build his confidence and play in this league and bring him back next year. An incredible player, and like let him be something that we've always had, that we drafted, that we saw something in, and let him be ours. Let him be part of whatever championship run we ever make in the future. I want that so badly. And also too, it may be idealistic, right? But for me, I'm holding out hope, even though all the Knicks history tells me not to. I'm holding out hope for the whole KD, Kyrie, Zion situation, and I refuse to let anybody knock me off of that belief. And until I know for a fact that that's not going to happen, then I'll accept that reality then. But right now, as a Knicks fan, all we've ever had was hope, man. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Appreciate it, Jermaine. Appreciate it, man. Jonathan Simmons was the guy I was talking about.
Jonathan Simmons was a good pickup for Philly.
Jonathan Simmons. So they got Tobias. They got Jonathan Simmons. They going for it. Philly's going for it, man.
You gotta respect what Philly's doing right now. Yeah. Like, you want to talk about shoving your chips into the middle of the table. They're not taking any. I mean, like, whether or not Jimmy Butler is the cancer they say he is still out on the table. But you're going to add another perennial all-star to the situation. On top of that, like, you don't know how that's going to work out personnel-wise. So
Philly's going for it. You saw Milwaukee just traded for Mirotic, so they're trying to build on the depth. And then you saw Toronto trade for Gasol. Toronto got Gasol in there. What do you think about that trade?
I think it's incredible. In terms of the Atlantic, because, us Knicks fans, I think we're so, like, consumed with how bad we are for so long that we don't, like, look at our division as actual competition. We kind of look at, like, the bottom of the NBA as competition to compete for draft picks with. But the Sixers and the Raptors are both in the Atlantic. Both made gigantic moves to get pretty damn better than they were before today.
A lot better, man.
Marc Gasol, he's one of the best defensive centers in the league. He can also stretch the floor and shoot a little bit.
Better than Valanciunas.
Much. Valanciunas stinks.
Valanciunas had that one good year about 2 years ago. And he fell off.
Oh my God! Valanciunas is one of the most overrated players in the NBA. But you pair Gasol up with Kawhi, that's already a defensive, twosome that can wreak havoc. But then you also got Kyle Lowry, who's a player. You got Pascal Siakam, who's a player. Like, these guys can ball, man. Like,
Raptors are gonna be good, man.
So no, I was actually talking about with some friends today. The Eastern Conference playoffs is gonna get real juicy.
Get scary, man.
It's gonna get crazy.
Facts. So the All-Star draft is over with. Team LeBron wins again. I don't know what the freak was thinking about, man, when he put this team together. So it's Greek Freak, Steph Curry, Kemba, Joel Embiid, Vucevic, Westbrook, Blake, Jokic, Paul George. It's not that bad, but
I mean, it's an all-star team.
Yeah,
it's not going to be
Chris Middleton, D'Angelo Russell, and Kyle Lowry. I don't know. Damn, he got like all the point guards on the team. He got 5 point guards on the team.
I mean, LeBron doesn't want to draft point guards because he want to have the ball in his hands. So.
Yeah, it must be, man. So let me see what team LeBron is looking like here. Oh, that's a player pool. Now LeBron's team is stacked, man.
It's crazy.
LeBron's team is stacked. It's LeBron, KD, AD, Kyrie, and Harden as the starters. No, AD's off the bench, actually. Go figure. AD's actually off the bench. Well, he was a reserve, so he's got to come off the bench anyway.
Yeah.
All right, here it goes right here. So it's LeBron, KD, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard. And let me just make it a little bit smaller.
That 4 right there is the stupidest thing in the world. LeBron, Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and James Harden.
Yep.
Like that. You're getting the 2 best players in the NBA with LeBron and KD.
Facts.
You got the best defensive player in the league with Kawhi Leonard, and you have the best offensive player in the league with Harden. Like, that's just a crazy combination of players.
Then you got AD off the bench, Dame Dollars, Ben Simmons, Clay, Karl Anthony Towns, and D Wade as the ceremonial I'm washed up going into retirement pick, and then him and Dirk will get their ovation and change jerseys.
I love the washed up pick off between Dwayne Wade and Nowitzki.
Yeah.
Obviously Giannis got the foreigner, and obviously LeBron got his boy. Like, that's just how it goes.
How did Luka Doncic not make this All-Star team, bro?
It's a catastrophe.
That's a travesty, man.
It's not right. He definitely deserved it. But
didn't he get voted in?
I don't know what happened, because last I checked, he was leading. Yeah, I think he was like second to LeBron in votes, and then all of a sudden it fell off or something. But from a stat standpoint alone, the guy deserves it. I mean, the guy's been unbelievable.
Man.
Oh my God, he's mind-blowingly good.
Facts. Let's go to North Dakota, man. I'm cold just thinking about that. Marshall, what's good, bro? You want to talk about DeAndre Jordan and the deadline?
What up, brother?
Yo, Marshall, what's the weather like in North Dakota right now, man?
Oh, it is -6 and it feels like -31. It's cold, brother.
Wait. That's Fahrenheit? Even still, if it was Celsius, it'd be worse, Jake. Oh my God.
Oh man, if I can send you guys pictures, yeah, you guys wouldn't. Yeah.
Wait, say that again. -6, -5.
Yeah, -6, but it feels like 31 with the wind chill.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Man,
I was hearing about that part. Like, about a week or two ago, they said it was -70 with the wind chill.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, dude, it was horrible the last couple of days ago, but it was all right. But you're out here long enough, you learn how to deal with it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. All right, so what's your point, man?
I just have some general questions, man. So,
okay.
So I've been listening to you guys' YouTube station here for about a month, and I think it's the best YouTube channel out here for just NBA and just for Nick News and everything like that. So I like how you have the setup going. I don't think anybody else on YouTube has a good setup like this. So you guys just keep doing what you're doing, and then hopefully you get more subscribers. So I'll definitely be And then second general question, I think DeAndre Jordan, Knicks keeping DeAndre Jordan's a good move.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he's a veteran. He's been in L.A. He has the experience of the bright lights, of a major, metropolitan city. So he's going to be able to handle, the bright lights of New York and hopefully be able to attract other talent towards New York. And I'm just a hopeful Knicks fan for the future with these young players and everything like that. So I'm always positive about the New York Knicks. It's just, and it goes back to, like you said, it's building a culture and everything like that. And I believe that also with building a culture, you have to sell the city, just like LA sold LeBron. LeBron had a house out there. He was doing like all his off the court ventures. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe if we had somebody to sell off the court ventures and like really get somebody to sell their brand, in New York and like expand their footprint, that would be a major win for attracting high dollar, high value, targets as far as talent and everything like that. I don't know. Because you always talk about culture. Not only anybody's ever talked about selling the city. Like they sold LA to LeBron versus like Miami, what I mean? Because it was Miami. They had Dwayne Wade down there. They had the city, bright lights,
That's
nice
true.
weather.
I think
all that stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you, and appreciate the call, Marshall. Stay warm out there, man. Definitely stay warm. I think the difference is, Jake, is a couple things. I think LeBron already had aspirations of being in the entertainment business. He had his own production company. He's got Mav Carter running that whole thing. They have the agency business, which Rich Paul is making, which I'm sure LeBron is getting a kick out of everybody's contract that is on the Clutch Sports right now. You know what I mean? Which is funny. So he already had those aspirations, but I think for here, it's got to be about basketball, man. It still has to be about basketball. Like, these dudes, they know what New York is about. Some dudes don't want it. You heard Paul George say it. Paul George was like, yo, I'm good in OKC. Even J.R. Smith said it. Even though Joe couldn't know it with his weak ass. It was like, oh, New York is too lit for me. You know what I'm saying? I had to throw a little elbow. No, I can't stand it.
I like it. So if there's one person you could throw jabs at constantly, it's Joe.
No, I think in this age, the market, like we've seen, the market, it means less to these players, I think, but it has to be about basketball. We have to sell these free agents on our young core, on the flexibility, on the coach, and on the management philosophy that we're going to bring forward into the future, man.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has to be about basketball, especially like the Knicks. Like when you think about Knicks, you think about tough basketball still, even though we're 20 years removed from it. But, you know, North Dakota, you know, it's funny that North Dakota brings up the weather because he brings up a fair point. Like we're talking about multi-millionaires. They could spend the offseason wherever they want, where the weather is nice and whatever. If they want to go to New York in the offseason when the weather's actually like bearable, that's good. All I can say is that I'm happy that we didn't play the Warriors at home in the past week, because then KD would have seen that it's like -10 here, and he's going to have to be here throughout the winter, and that's a different time for New York where it's just brick after brick after brick.
Facts.
And, you know, I could definitely see the allure of playing in a warm weather city like Miami or LA or even Golden State. You know, they get great weather there too. But no, you're absolutely right. It has to be about basketball at the Knicks. And, you know, we have a fan base that is extremely passionate about pure basketball. I mean, whether or not they agree all the time is definitely not there because they don't. But if there's one thing at the end of the day that Knicks fans can all agree on, it's when they see good basketball or not. They haven't seen it in a while, but if they do see it, they'll know it.
Yeah.
And, you know, even after last night, KD's comments like, man, you guys are trying to attack me in the media and this and that. I'm just trying to play basketball. Like, people said that was a bad look for New York.
I didn't see it that way.
You see, me neither, because people think that it's a bad look because New York's media can be so ruthless, which they are. But the thing is that I think that if any superstar brings any type of winning culture to the Knicks, we're going to have such a long leash for them. Like, it's so easy to be the superstar of New York, or at least the Knicks, maybe not the Yankees, but the Knicks, as long as you're winning. If you're winning, the media is going to treat you like a god.
When you're winning, they love you.
Exactly.
When you're winning, they love you. When they're losing, it's over with. And I've seen that with one of the greatest to ever walk these city streets, man, Patrick Ewing, man. Yo, them days, I don't know if you remember, you might have been a little bit too young days. And yo, them days, bro. Article after article, back page after back page. It just used to show Patrick Ewing, knees wrapped up in like gigantic bags of ice, trashing them. I mean, we ran him out of town, man. It was terrible. It was terrible how we treated him on the way out.
I was young, but I definitely remember the latter stages of Ewing.
Yeah.
But I was born into this Knicks stuff, not so much by my family, but just because I guess my brain just gravitated to the Knicks for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's good.
But Patrick Ewing was the first like idol I had in my life. Like I worshipped him. I worshipped the ground he worked on. He was a god. And towards the end, it literally made me sick. I mean, my uncle stopped being a Knicks fan because of how wrong we treated Patrick Ewing at the end. You know, 15 years straight with the Knicks, 15 or 16. I think it was 16 straight with the Knicks. And then we traded him for scraps to the Seattle Supersonics with Vin Baker, who never turned out to be anything.
Been cursed ever since, Jake.
I mean, it was the first. It was the first of a laundry list of bad business moves that the Knicks made because you know superstars see that stuff and they're like, "Who the hell would want to play in New York when they treat their stars like that? It's not right."
Absolutely, man. And shout out everybody once again in the chat. On this KD topic, before we get to the phones, we're gonna get back to the phones in a second. On this KD topic, you know, basically they were saying, for those of you that don't know, just to give you a background, they were basically saying how since the KP trade went down, you know, KD was basically hiding from the media, was ducking the media after postgame, was skipping postgame press conferences. And last night must have been the first time that he met with the media in almost a week. And, you know, he let him have it, man. He let him have it. He basically said, he said, listen, I don't have nothing to do with the Knicks. I don't know why KP got traded. You know, I'm just trying to play basketball. And I thought he handled it well. I don't think it's a negative in our situation. I just think these guys are tired of hearing about it, man. These guys are tired of hearing about it. I think me and you were talking because I felt like this is Summer LeBron on steroids. Only because of the expansion of media into social media now. Like, it was around when Summer LeBron, but it's even bigger now. You know what I'm saying?
It's way bigger. There's not a person in the United States that isn't part of social media at this point. And if they are, I certainly don't know them. Yeah. But I think that last night was kind of funny because you saw the two different approaches of how to handle the media. There was the LeBron side and there was the KD side.
Facts.
LeBron is a politician more so than an athlete. Like he is always trying to talk himself up to living up to his expectation when really, you know, LeBron coming into the league, if you said that he would have, you know, created super team after super team and wound up with 3 championships at the end of the day, you probably would have been unimpressed with his whole entire career. KD seems more of a basketball purist to me. Like he just wants his game to do the talking and he doesn't love the media. And I didn't have a problem with what KD said. So, like, you had LeBron last night sticking up for Harrison Barnes getting benched mid-game because he got traded mid-game.
Yeah, he got traded mid-game.
He tried to simultaneously take the side of the player while also bashing the team, while also sticking up for the team because he's actively shopping his whole entire team. It was like it was a crazy, crazy Instagram post that made absolutely no sense. I don't know what was going through his mind when
he was drinking that wine, man. He's drinking that extra aged wine, that vino.
That's a fact. And, like, he was straight politicking the whole entire time.
Yeah.
And then, meanwhile, you got KD getting up to the podium, like, smashing the reporters, literally saying he doesn't trust them and he just wants to go out and play basketball. And I started getting to a debate with the kids that I work with about, like, the 2 ways that these were handled. And I said, I prefer the KD way any day of the week. Like,
definitely.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't, you know, mess with the media that much. He doesn't like the media, but what he said was true, and I believe it.
You gotta leave
him alone,
wants
man.
To play
basketball, you know? Like, I like that.
You gotta leave him alone. Just let him play, man. These dudes are trying to win a championship. Like, you don't. The whole thing. Of course, they're on social media hearing it every day. Of course, a teammate is getting asked about it every day. The media's got to get off of it, man. I mean, listen, media's doing their job. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
the media's doing their job.
You can't stop the media from
doing
that.
They're going to doing their job. It's a hot topic. And they get paid to cover the hot topic because that's what people want to see. It's a big business, but at the same time, you got to understand it has to be a balance. You got to understand the player side of things. Let's let them play. Like the whole Kyrie thing last week when he was here was just cringeworthy, bro. I cringed when Cassidy Hubbard from ESPN was doing a post game interview and was like, "Oh, so what do you think about the Knicks?" And the Knicks, I'm just like, "Yo, he plays for the Celtics." Like, ask him about his team.
Yeah, right. Like, and that's honestly what turns people off to the Knicks, I think, in this weird situation because they get asked more about the Knicks than they do about how do you think about Draymond Green? Is his shooting ever going to come along? Like, and instead of like being able to stick up for his teammates, he's forced to talk about a team that he's not a part of. And like, it just draws their minds like, what am I going to have to deal with if I actually become a Knick? And like, obviously media, they get paid a lot of money to stir controversy. Controversy sells.
Controversy sells, bro.
And without selling, you don't get newspapers, you don't get radio, you don't get TV, you don't get any of this. So when you sell controversy, you get your content and everything. But it turns these players off a little bit. And it's part of the problem with everything because New York's a major media market, and they're going to try to make it like everything is centered around New York, even if it has absolutely nothing to do with New York, as we saw yesterday. True
indeed, man. Well said. All right, let's go to the phones. Back to the phones. We'll finish off with we got a couple calls in the deck, so just keep it quick. Delano's up first. What's good, Delano? Let's talk about AD.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody doing?
Chilling, bro. How you feeling?
I'm good, money. You know what I'm saying? Listen, about the Anthony Davis thing. I know. I think it was Jason, or I can't remember the homie's name that was calling. But no, I think if we had the opportunity to trade for AD, and maybe using the first round pick, I would do it because the one thing that Anthony Davis never had was sufficient help. You basically, you know what I'm saying, had him and Drew Holiday, and that's it. If we had the opportunity to get him along with Durant and another top flight free agent, then you've given him more help than he's had in his whole career. So you taking that pressure off of him. So the injury-prone situation, that's not going to be something that's reoccurring. You look at what happened with Porzingis. Porzingis was coming off, you know, an all-star year, but who was his second in command? Who was his next guy? It was Tim Hardaway Jr. And he was coming off an injury. So his games that he would have to single-handedly keep us in games. So, you know, I wouldn't immediately write off a trade for Anthony Davis as long as it wasn't something unreasonable. Like if you're telling me like the first pick of the draft, because we really don't know what Zion's gonna be. We have a lot of aspirations. We have a lot of speculation, but we don't know what he's gonna turn out to be. He could be LeBron, or he could be Kenneth Faried.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. We don't know what
he could be Anthony Bennett.
So.
There's a whole bunch of things that he could be.
Yeah, you know, so there's no guarantee with him, but at least with Davis, you know what you're getting. You know what I mean?
Okay.
To a degree. So you know, but I'm loving. You know, it's funny. I'm loving the fact that we got rid of Cantor.
It was time, man. Thank God.
I think that was
100% time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cantor needed to go.
He needed to go, man. I was tired of him.
Yeah, the antics was ridiculous, but I find it funny that he was the one that was talking heavily about recruiting KD, and you're the goner. But now
that was the whole funny thing. It was like he was always talking about KD to the Knicks. It was like, come hella high water, you have to leave for this to happen.
Yeah, but we got you know, DeAndre Jordan, and honestly, like, you know, our future does look a little bit brighter. You know, my thing is this. Even if we don't get everybody, didn't it feel good against Memphis to see that every single Knicks player played defense?
I mean, listen, it was good to see the effort. It was good to see the effort. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see the effort with KP here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I would have loved to see it with him here. Oh shit, my fault.
If we had kept him, it'd have been great. But you know, even with that, there's a sacrifice you got to make. Because look at what we did. We got rid of 2 contracts that we needed to get rid of.
Yeah.
In Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee. We've been saying that for the beginning of the season, that we need to get rid of those guys. And we got rid of them in one fell swoop. So, like I said, maybe it's not what we wanted, and you know, trying to resurrect our franchise with keeping KP, but a sacrifice had to be made, and you know, I got to live with that. You know what I mean?
I got you.
But at the end of the day, you know, like I said, I'm happy with, you know, the way the fact that, you know, that people are actually looking at us and taking us seriously, because we wasn't getting no interviews. We got turned down for interviews.
Yeah.
For free agency. Now it looks like people are looking at us and, hey, I might want to come play, you know, for the orange and blue. So I love it. You know what I mean?
Okay. I appreciate the call, bro. Appreciate the call, man.
Hey, man, keep doing your thing. Love the show, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Always appreciate the support, Delano. Isaiah's with us. Isaiah, what's good, man? Wants to talk about the Cantor buyout. How you feeling, bro?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Knicks fan? What's going on, Jake from State Farm? Stop it.
I was waiting for somebody to come with the Jake from State Farm.
On my personal Instagram account,
man, I was ready, man.
on my personal Instagram account, on my handle, I wrote @State Farm, ruined my name.
It's all good, man. It's all good, bro. All right, Isaiah, what's good, man? Make it quick. I gotta eat dinner tonight, man.
Oh man, listen, it's Ennis Cantor.
Yeah.
We got rid of him. He was. I'm glad that happened. Now we can fully, we get some guys with some 10-day contracts. Now we can, embrace the culture. We actually, it was crazy. People haven't been noticing. We've been playing a great defense. We've been keeping people under 100 points. It is we haven't scored 100 points.
Right. Oh man,
but,
we haven't scored 100 points
in
decades, man.
Yeah, so we're playing better defense ever since Cantor's been sitting. I'm excited for free agency. I wish the media would stop talking to Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, because I feel like,
it's annoying, man.
like Jake said,
it hurts.
I said it's annoying. They need to let it go.
Yeah, like Jake was saying
really
earlier. Listen, let these guys just play ball, because I do feel like we're in the play for them. But stop pissing them off and stop making them rethink of coming to us, because you keep talking to them and it gets annoying. And like you said, I was cringing when the lady asked Kyrie,
"Oh man,
how do you feel about this?"
It was like, terrible, man.
He's on the Celtics.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Come on now,
man.
you're just making. Where's Rebecca Hall when you need her?
Oh man,
and it's
I'm telling you, bro.
And it's just cringeworthy, because, dude, and now you have KD publicly saying our name, not in a good way, to a certain extent, but it's like, dude, media, Let it go.
They gotta let it go, man.
January 1st, we will see what's going on.
Facts.
And
July
like
1st.
I said, I think we're in play for them, but stop pissing them off.
True,
let them play basketball and let the chips fall where they fall.
True indeed, man. All right, Isaiah, appreciate it, man. That's a fact, Jake. That's a fact. I don't think it hurts our chances, but it's just like, leave us out of this, man.
I definitely think it doesn't help our chances. Like, I agree that it may not hurt our chances. I mean, chances are that these guys are completely aware of what New York is and what comes along with it before these questions even surface.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it brings negative attention to the Knicks. When,
exactly.
When they're getting asked about the Knicks and they're on the Warriors. Like, just keep our names out of your mouth. You're the reporter. Shut up. You know, we don't want you to talk on behalf of us.
That's all. That's
it.
That's
not
all.
too much to ask.
Simple and plain, man. All right, next up on the docket, Banger from New Jersey wants to chime in on KP and the deadline. Banger, what's good, bro?
Yo, what up, CP? What up, Jay?
How you feeling, bro?
What up?
Not much, man. You know, been listening to you for a couple months now. It's my first time calling in.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Hashtag new.
Hashtag new. There you go. Welcome to the show, bro.
So this one I want to chime in and be quick.
Yeah.
Love that kid was calling. He was annoying.
Yes.
And when the caller, like anybody that's a Knicks fan, right, should know better than to say what he said. What guard, and this is dead ass, what guard have we had? Don't say Stephon Marbury neither. It's better than Dennis. And
if you're just talking about talent, then yeah, it's going to be Steph. If you're talking about wins, then of course not. If you're talking about talent, then it's the last good one was
Steph.
Steph.
I'm talking about the skill set. Like the skill set. Watching Dennis Smith, he looked like he controlling the area. Like when he comes up the court, he looked like he's about to take over. Like I'm not scared coming past the half court line. People like Frank, the Chris Child, even though I loved him, all them point guards. They was not on. We never had that. It was them, and then we was going against the Allen Iversons, Steve Francis killing us. We never had good guards.
Yeah.
Please let all Knicks fans need to stop lying to themselves. Besides Mark Jackson at the point running with Pat, we never had no good guards. So thank you, Dennis Smith, for coming. We never had good guards.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call, man.
I want to shout out the chat real quick. Joe Curry saying Michael Ray Richardson.
There you go.
He's not wrong. I mean, if he wasn't such a big cokehead, he would have been a fantastic player.
Facts. But we got to get. I mean, listen. If we, like I say, if we're talking about skills, just pure skills, then the last 20 years, Steph is up there. You have to give it to him.
I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, the last caller. I mean, he brought up a good point. Dennis Smith Jr. is definitely up there in terms of talented Knicks guards.
He has potential. He has potential.
He definitely has the potential to be a game-changing guard. But he's criminally underselling what Stephon Marbury was.
Yeah,
Stephon Marbury was like Carmelo Anthony. He was as good as anybody. He just had a horrible team around him.
Yeah. And just mentally he just wasn't there, as we've seen over and over again.
Yeah. He definitely had a couple breakdowns in there.
Facts. All right, couple more calls, man. I got to eat dinner and get out of here. Jamal from Jersey says the Knicks aren't to blame for trading Cantor. So Jamal wants to counter Jake's point, I think. Jamal, what's up, bro?
Cantor? Or KP?
Say KP. Did I say Cantor? KP.
Yeah, I was just talking about the KP thing, which I'm basically over, but he ran himself out of town. He overplayed his hand. He wanted his family and friends and everybody working for the team like Carmelo and Steph had.
Mm-hmm.
And he just was disgruntled for a guy that never played. And he was injury-prone before the ACL. So I'm just glad our front office was ready and moved him out like a smooth criminal, and now we can move on.
There we go.
My second thing is guys are absolutely insane if they think Stephon Marbury wasn't the truth, because he was. Stephon Marbury was better than Dennis Smith Jr. Ross Strickland was better than Dennis Smith Jr.
Definitely.
Mark Jackson was better than Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah.
And that's just off the top of my head.
Yeah, easily.
The last thing
DSJ got a long way to go, man. He's just potential right now.
Yeah, people are like selling themselves on Dennis Smith Jr. after 125-point performance. Like, you got to relax.
Right. I like him, don't get me wrong, but come on.
Nice,
let's keep our shorts on here.
Mm-hmm.
The last point is with free agency, especially with these guys like LeBron and KD level, these guys choose their franchise. You think these young millionaires that's at the top of their profession is really coming on meetings and stuff in the summer and you're selling them on playing here? these guys have brand and business partners that tell them, listen, if you play in New York, this will grow like this. You will sell X amount of shoes. There's no pitch that you're giving these guys.
Yeah, they already got
that make them want to play for you.
Yeah.
It's predetermined where they're going.
Yeah, they know what they want to do.
They know this
They know
already.
what they want to do. Yeah, definitely, man.
The public don't know this. LeBron chose to end his career for his second phase of life in L.A.
Definitely.
They did not sell him or pitch him on anything.
No, that's true. That's true. All right, Jamal. Appreciate the call, man. Mike from Maryland's up and wants to talk about the KP trade. Mike, what's good, bro?
What's up, man? First time calling. How y'all doing?
Good, man. Welcome to the show, bro.
What's up?
All right. Couple points real quick. When everybody come around and say the Knicks strike out in the free agency, I just disagree. One time we had LeBron. Of course, he struck out, but who did LeBron meet with? He met with the Knicks.
Yeah.
He was one of the people on his list. One of the only, 3-4 teams.
It was, if I remember right, it was the Knicks, it was the Nets, it was Miami Heat and the Bulls, and then maybe the Clippers. I don't remember if the Clippers were in that group.
Maybe the Clippers. AD trade, Knicks is on the list. Kyrie Irving trade, Knicks is on the list. We had one other opportunity. We had some cap room when we had Melo.
Yeah.
LaMarcus Aldridge said himself that he was, but Phil Jackson didn't wanted him to play center and not power forward, so he decided to leave. But LaMarcus Aldridge was going to come and join the Knicks.
I don't know how sure that was, but he did say that was one of the reasons why he didn't want to meet.
Said that. LaMarcus Aldridge said he strongly considered coming to join the Knicks, but the whole thing with Phil Jackson and he wanted him to play center and KP to play power, he decided to move on. But he said he was strongly considering.
Yeah.
He met with the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
We canceled the meeting at the last minute and signed Robin Lopez. That was Phil Jackson's stupidness. But he canceled the list. Every free agent that ever was available when we actually had cap space, we had meetings with. That's all you.
Yeah,
can
but Mike,
ask for
I need signatures, Mike. I need signatures. No more talk, man.
But how many opportunities have we had?
We need to cash in now, man.
I remember in my lifetime.
We need to cash in and appreciate the call, man. Jake, we need signatures now, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
enough talk.
There's so many media-driven storylines that, they have a short list. The Knicks are on it. If I had a penny for every player that had a short list, I would be a wealthy man. Every single player wants to play for the Knicks. Nobody comes to the Knicks.
Nobody comes.
Say how many times we struck out on free agency? You could say almost infinite times. I feel like every player wants
to his point, to his credit, all right? All right, I'll give him his point. LeBron, the second time around, LeBron didn't even give us the meeting. So that the only time we had the meeting with LeBron was 2010. I'm talking about the guys that even just
I'm talking about anybody. Literally.
I'm talking about dudes that actually meant make a difference. KD, that first time KD when he left OKC for Golden State didn't give us the meeting when Phil was here.
Yeah.
And it was LaMarcus Aldridge. It was those three.
LaMarcus Aldridge, trying to remember.
And I don't even consider LaMarcus Aldridge anything that all spectacular, but I'm just talking about high caliber profile players that were within our radar within the last, say, 10 years.
Yeah.
And most of that time we didn't have the money for them anyway.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, listen, 2010 is definitely the time that we struck out. That will always, let me be rationally upset about, throwing all our chips on banking on free agency, because the one time we tried to do it, it backfired incredibly, and it set us back for 10 years. Here we are 10 years later, and we haven't done anything besides one decent year in 2000. Well, not decent. That year was incredible, but 2012. But the fact that our best year was a second seed in the East and a second round elimination to the Indiana Pacers is a joke. So if it backfires, if we strike out on KD, Kyrie, Kemba, and we wind up with say the Philly boys, they don't re-sign Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. Say we get Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris in free agency, and the Knicks front office tries to do that thing that they always try to do and try to spin it and be like, my God, we got Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler. Are you going to be excited?
No way.
Is that worth it?
I want no parts of Jimmy Butler on this team. No parts.
Yeah,
I want no parts of Jimmy Butler on this team.
The only and this is part of my KP trade take, is that the only way that this trade pays off in clearing up cap space is if the Knicks have inside information that they are going to get KD.
Yeah.
The only way it works is if you get KD and some sort of combination of, Kyrie, Kemba. I wouldn't even say Kawhi is off the table, but you need KD in this situation. You need to land the superstar, and you put the chips in the middle trading KP. And if that doesn't happen, I'll probably be upset.
Hey, all fair points, man. All fair points. Once again, shout out everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're first time watching, we had a lot of first time callers today, so appreciate the first time callers. But if this is your first time watching, this is Knicks Fan TV. You're also watching this on the Nick of Time show. Jake is from the Knicks podcast. We're giving you that Knicks independent media, unbiased takes, and this is the home for you, man. If you're a diehard Knicks fan, you have to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future shows. Today's episode, we just recapped the trade deadline that wasn't for the Knicks. Obviously, the KP trade took all the wind out of the sails, and today was just parting ways day. Today was buyout day for Enes Kanter and Wesley Matthews. So those guys are moving on. Thank God Canner's gone and Matthews wasn't here long enough for us to really care. So, yeah, man, that's the story. These shows are also available in audio format. For those of you going to work tomorrow, you missed today's show. It's in audio format, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, on the Knicks Fan TV. We also replay these shows. For those of you that want to chat live with other Knicks fans from around the world, these replay into the morning and into the next day. So you'll have an opportunity to still watch this on a replay, but still chat with other Knicks fans. All right, Jake, let's take two more calls and then we'll cut out. Let's go to JJ from Brooklyn. He wants to talk free agency. JJ, what's going on, bro?
Hello?
Yo, what's good, bro?
Yo, what's going on? How you guys doing, man?
Chilling, man. How you feeling?
Good. Just wanted real quick, I'd rather do in free agency, if we're not getting, Kyrie, Durant, I'd rather just save the money. Maybe next year we get some actually, never mind. I'm looking at the free agent class the following year. The best one is like Draymond Green. Never mind.
No, I want no
parts
of that.
I'd rather do nothing, though. I don't want to spend it on
But remember, with the cap space, Jake, you could use some of that cap to trade for a guy, or trade for a pick. You have some flexibility
still. Yeah, we're going to have to give
still.
up our young pieces,
You have some flexibility still. What about like a Bradley Beal? What do you guys think about like a Bradley Beal? If you could get him on a decent.
Yeah, then we're gonna have to give up assets, Yeah,
you're gonna have to give up a couple, but you're not giving up the number.
I love Beal. I would trade for Beal in a heartbeat.
If we can get Kyrie and KD instead of going for AD, maybe a Bradley Beal, maybe a cheaper trade, and still improve the team. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, if you, I love Bradley. I've been on the Bradley Beal fan club for a long time now.
Yeah.
I think that, I think he just got paid a lot, and I think he's worth the contract. It just depends on what you're gonna have to give up for him. Like, it's not an AD situation where you can afford to break the bank for him a little bit. Like, I'm not trading the number one pick in the draft for
no, absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely, I think it would be a cheaper alternative to going after AD and not having to deplete your whole roster for him.
Alex Collins in the chat just said exactly what my list would be: 1 AD, 2 Damian Lillard, and 3 Beal. I think the Portland Trailblazers would listen to offers for Dame Lillard.
No, I'm only saying Beal if we get the two. If we get the two heads, and you're trying to get another upgrade, I would potentially explore Beal. I wouldn't bring Beal by himself. Nah, hell no. No.
No, there's no doubt though. Beal's an interesting prospect, if nothing else.
Yeah. I would get Beal if he's my third guy. Not first, not second. If he's a third guy.
Of course.
Dame Dollars, I'm always intrigued by Dame Dollars.
Dame Dollar, not only would he like be an incredible player because he is an incredible player.
Yeah.
New York would love Dame Dollar.
Oh,
like between like his freestyle Fridays and everything like that. Like he's one of the most likable personalities in the entire NBA right
now. Dame Dollars is tailor made for New York, man. I love him as a player, man.
Perfect. And he's hard too. He was you know, an Oakland native, you know, like he's got a little bit of New York grit in him too. So
he's built for it, man. All right, Jake. Last call of the night. Because, you know, we want to bring it quick. I know we got some more calls in the queue, but we can't get to everything. This one's a different one. Dr. Shaw from Nashville wants to talk about how social media kills sports. Dr. Shaw, what do you mean, man?
Oh, man, I mean, I know it's a touchy subject and all, man, but, you know, think about the clubhouse for the players. It's like how KD, he didn't go on no rant, but damn, you know, enough's enough.
Yeah,
you know, they don't want to hear about that, man. And and Stephen A. Smith and all them on the daytime shows, what all they talk about? Man, I ain't never seen that so many people talk about LeBron every day.
Yeah.
They didn't do that to Kobe and Shaq, man.
Yeah. Damn, so what do you think about Knicks Fan TV, man?
I mean, no. I mean, not, you know. I die orange and blue in Nashville, man. Trust me.
All right, cool, cool.
I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like you know how you know how the social media is.
Of course.
Clown each other. Now, if I was on the league, I don't know if I could tell them they can't have no cell phones and no shit like that. You know, but excuse me, but
good.
It's just a lot with social media comes along with it, and it get into like the D'Angelo Russell situation.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
That's like the younger generation, man.
And the clubhouse need to remain in the clubhouse regardless of what go on.
Right.
Nothing social media should be putting out there, and it's an influence, fellas. You know what I'm saying? I know it's touchy, but it is what it is on that.
Yeah.
But hey, as far as the commentary with all what y'all do, I love it.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, man.
That's what it is, baby.
Dr. Shaw, man, hold it down in Nashville for us, bro.
Sure will.
Yes, sir. All right. That was Dr. Shaw. And Dave, I'm going to shut down the phones and before we close out. Yeah, I mean, listen, he has a point, right, Jake? I think the social media is a double-edged sword. I think it sometimes it could be information overload. As players, obviously we're not in the player's shoes, but obviously as a player, where your every move, your every thought, your every assumption is scrutinized, overanalyzed, embellished. You know what I'm saying? It could be a detriment. Yeah. It could be a detriment.
Oh, no, there's no doubt that the social media time that we're in right now is it adds a new dimension to sports. I mean, I can't say that it ruins it necessarily, just because, like, you know, you personally can get off of social media if you are so inclined to. All these NBA players, if they wanted to block out the noise, they can literally block out the noise. They can shut off their social media. They choose to be a part of it, and it's part of the game at this point. I mean, whether you're promoting your businesses, promoting yourself, whatever it is. But I don't think it's as hard as people make it out to be to not be a part of this social media thing. I think that we all want to be a part of it. So collaboratively, we are a part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Part of it, man. All a part of it, man. And, you know, listen, as long as we doing it to promote good, we're promoting the Knicks. I look at myself as an extension of the team, a promotion of the team. They don't get the fans involved like we do. You know what I mean? This is what Knicks Fan TV is all about. It's all about building a community of fans to get their point across on the team. Because we are an extension of the team. You know what I mean? We are the sixth man. We pay for the seats. We pay for the jerseys and all the memorabilia. We ride with the team, blood, sweat, and tears. You know, 10 wins and all, tank and all. That's what it's all about, man. But good show, Jake. Good show, man. I'll let you sign out. So, you know, promote your shows. Let them know where they can find you at, man.
All right. Well, we're going to be teaming up with CP and Knicks Fan TV. My brother and I will be coming live. Our podcast is going on YouTube Live shortly. We just figured out all the technology, so give it a week or two. We will release our first videos. You can subscribe now, get your early access. The Lennox, that's LEKNICKS. We're going to be on YouTube Live, and we're going to have an audio version on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, so wherever you want. You can find our podcast at, and, you know,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, CP.
Appreciate you, Jake. Last minute impromptu stream, and shout out to everybody for watching, man. We had a good turnout today, maybe about 400 people. So shout out to everybody that watched the impromptu trade deadline show. Tomorrow night, JLs will be back. Knicks Pistons post game live right here on Knicks Fan TV, right here on the Nick of Time show at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday night Knicks as usual. The merch is up. For those of you that have been copping merch, copying your Mitch Please tees and hoodies and all that, there's a link in the video description to the merch. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting on that light. And once again, man, this show is available in audio format for those of you who can't watch it on YouTube whenever at your convenience. It's on Spotify, it's on Google Play, it's on iTunes, it's on Stitcher, on the Knicks Fan TV. So definitely check out the show in audio format. Follow me on social media, man. Knicks Fan TV, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on all three actively, so whichever we use the most, hit us up. The Twitter group is going well. Shout out to everybody who's in the Twitter chat. I'm going to open up another one. I think we've reached the max, which is 50. So I'm going to open up another one. The way you get into the Twitter chat is share this show on Twitter with the hashtag PostGameNYK. It's coming across the ticker right now. PostGameNYK. Share this video on Twitter with PostGameNYK is the hashtag, and I'll throw you guys in the Twitter group tonight. All right, so until then, man, I'll see you guys tomorrow, man.